maybe to linger on the point of leadership, I think it's one of the first times you were really a leader, and you've led many very successful teams since then. What does it take to be a good leader?
I would say most of all, I just take credit for the work of others.
Right.
That's very convenient, turns out, because I can't do all these things myself. I'm an engineer at heart, so I care about engineering. So I don't know what the chicken and the egg is, but as a kid, I loved computers because you could tell them to do something, and they actually did it. It was very cool. And you could, like, in the middle of the night, wake up at 1 a.m. and switch on your computer, and what you told you to yesterday, it would still do. That was really cool. Unfortunately, that didn't quite work with people. So you go to people and tell them what to do, and they don't do it. And they hate you for it. Or you do it today, and then you go a day later, and they stop doing it. So you have to. So then the question really became, how can you put yourself in the brain of the people as opposed to computers? And in terms of computers are super dumb. They're just so dumb. If people were as dumb as computers, I wouldn't want to work with them. But people are smart, and people are emotional, and people have pride, and people have aspirations. So how can I connect to that? And that's the thing where most of leadership just fails, because many engineers turn manager believe they can treat their team just the same way they can treat a computer, and it just doesn't work this way. It's just really bad. So how can I connect to people? And it turns out, as a college professor, the wonderful thing you do all the time is to empower other people. Like, your job is to make your students look great. That's all you do. You're the best coach. And it turns out, if you do a fantastic job with making your students look great, they actually love you, and their parents love you, and they give you all the credit for stuff you don't deserve. It turns out all my students were smarter than me. All the great stuff invented at Stanford was their stuff, not my stuff. And they give me credit and say, oh, Sebastian, we're just making them feel good about themselves. So the question really is, can you take a team of people, and what does it take to make them to connect to what they actually want in life and turn this into productive action? It turns out every human being that I know has incredibly good intentions. I've really rarely met a person with bad intentions. I believe every person wants to contribute. I think every person I've met wants to help others. It's amazing how much of a urge we have not to just help ourselves, but to help others. So how can we empower people and give them the right framework that they can accomplish this? If in moments when it works, it's magical, because you'd see the confluence of people being able to make the world a better place and deriving enormous confidence and pride out of this. And that's when my environment works the best. These are moments where I can disappear for a month and come back and things still work. It's very hard to accomplish, but when it works, it's amazing.
So I agree with you very much. And it's not often heard that most people in the world have good intentions. At the core, their intentions are good, and they're good people. That's a beautiful message. It's not often heard.
We make this mistake, and this is a friend of mine, Alex Zotter, told me this, that we judge ourselves by our intentions and others by their actions. And I think the biggest skill, I mean, here in Silicon Valley, we're full of engineers who have very little empathy and are kind of befuddled why it doesn't work for them. The biggest skill, I think, that people should acquire is to put themselves into the position of the other. Yes. And listen to what the other has to say. And they'd be shocked how similar they are to themselves. And they might even be shocked how their own actions don't reflect their intentions. I often have conversations with engineers where I say, look, hey, I love you, you're doing a great job. And by the way, what you just did has the following effect. Are you aware of that? And then people would say, oh my God, not I wasn't, because my intention was that. And I say, yeah, I trust your intention. You're a good human being. But just to help you in the future, if you keep expressing it that way, then people will just hate you. And I've had many instances where people say, oh my God, thank you for telling me this, because it wasn't my intention to look like an idiot. It wasn't my intention to help other people. I just didn't know how to do it. Very simple, by the way. There's a book, Dale Carnegie, 1936, How to Make Friends and How to Influence Others, has the entire Bible. You just read it and you're done, and you apply it every day. And I wish I was good enough to apply it every day. But it says simple things, right? Like, be positive, remember people's names, smile, and eventually have empathy. Like, really think that the person that you hate and you think is an idiot is actually just like yourself. It's a person who's struggling, who means well, and who might need help. And guess what? You need help.
I've recently spoken with Steven Schwartzman. I'm not sure if you know who that is, but
I do.
And he said
It's on my list.
on the list. But he said sort of to expand on what you're saying, that one of the biggest things you can do is hear people when they tell you what their problem is, and then help them with that problem. He says it's surprising how few people like actually listen to what troubles others.
Yeah.
And because it's right there in front of you, and you can benefit the world the most, and in fact yourself and everybody around you, by just hearing the problems and solving them.
Yeah, I mean, that's my little history of engineering. That is, while I was engineering with computers, I didn't care at all what the computer's problems were, because I just told them what to do and they do it. And it just doesn't work this way with people. Yeah. It doesn't work with me. If you come to me and say, do A, I do the opposite.